Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome back to another in the Holly Jolly Christmas series. I'm having so much fun with this because I'm trying to do a lot of different stuff. The cold's still here. It's just gonna hang in. So if you hear my funny voice, I'm sorry. It's just weird. But here's what we're gonna use today. These styrofoam Christmas trees. Now I bought two of these. One of them is 3 by 7/8 and 8 and 7/8. That's this, or 3 and 7/8 by 8 and 7/8. That's this one. The second one was 3 and 7/8 by 11 and 7/8. I'm going to use this one on the screen because it's smaller and you can't see the other one, but I'm going to make a pair of the same thing. So what I do with this one, you'll just duplicate with the larger one. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this plastic off. Before I do that, let me tell you this. If you don't want to have to buy these over and over again to make styrofoam Christmas trees, you can take some paper and roll this around it and make yourself a pattern, and then just use paper and make paper cones. But I want this one to last a while, and the way we put Christmas away, I needed something in here to be kind of sturdy. But you can always use these to make yourself a paper cone pattern and then just copy them. The next thing we're going to use is some music paper. Gotta get this styrofoam off, I don't like it. Now mine, if you remember, I found this old Baptist hymnal at church, and I was able to bring it home and take the paper out of it. And if you remember, I used this on my Christmas tree canvas. Well, I pulled some more out. And what I'm going to do with this, here's what's really cool. This paper is so thin. Can you see just how thin this, like, it feels like? Wow. Okay, that's 3 pieces of paper. And I'm going to put this in my 2-inch scallop circle punch from close to my heart. And I'm going to make as many of these as I can to start with. That'll be our first thing. Now, if you don't have paper like this, if you don't have music paper, do not fret. I was online, as I often am, and I was looking at where to find free printables. And one of the free printable places that I went to actually has music paper, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So just Google free printable music paper, and then you won't even have to have the real stuff. And it's actually, I printed a piece of it just to see what it looks like, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's already vintage with the brown and everything. Now that was 3 sheets, and I probably could get more out of the middle, but I'm not going to stress over that. And this should be gracious plenty for what we're going to be doing. Now I'm going to bring some Tim Holtz ink into it, some vintage photo. And I am going to, and this takes a little time, so I'm going to cut away and do it. But here's what you'll do. Using an ink blender tool, we're going to edge these guys. And notice how I kind of got some up in here? That's good. The more vintage it looks, the better. Look at the difference. We go from fresh and new to beautiful and vintage. So move that aside. And I'm going to do every one of these. Now, if you're going to make a couple of these trees, you might want to sit down in front of the TV and just ink up a bunch of circles. But I'm going to cut away and finish these and come right back. Okay, so we're back. And I have inked all these pretty little scallop circles. They look so pretty now. And what I'm going to do is let my hot glue gun heat up. And while it's heating up, I want to show you another thing. I took one of these clear candle holders that you get, these glass candle holders you get from the Dollar Tree, and I painted it with black enamel acrylic, which is for glass. And this is what I get. Isn't that pretty? So, look at the difference. It just looks so rich. So we're going to use that too. I did 2 of these because, like I said, I'm doing 2 trees. But this one's for the small one we're doing right now. So go ahead and get one of those ready. And also, I bought a package of these finials from Hobby Lobby. They're made by the Tree House, and they were $1.99. And they look like this when you first get them. And I also painted this one black to look like the other one. So we go from this to this. So you'll want one of those. And I'll show you what we're going to use those with in a little bit. Now then, what we're going to do here is let's go ahead and prepare the bottom. I have this piece of paper that's just beige, no big deal, but I don't want the bottom to be green like this. So what I'm going to do is put my cone down on it and then trace it on this paper. That's a lovely sound, like nails on the chalkboard. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to cut this circle out. It does not have to be perfect. This edge is not going to show, but it needs to be kind of close. And I don't need to ink it or anything because, like I said, it's not really going to show. Now then, you'll want to put some hot glue on it. And then you'll just stick your cone on top of it. Oh, I'm such a shaker. Okay. Now that hot glue will sink in to that styrofoam really well and hold it in place. So now the bottom looks nice and clean. Now once your glue gun is ready, you're going to take it and run a strip about 1/4 of an inch above the edge of your cone. And I don't go all the way around. I just go about 3 inches around. Then I just take these scallop circles and overlap them and let them hang down a little bit. That's actually a little too much hang down, I think. I'm gonna bring that up some, because I didn't let my other one hang down that much. I don't want them to be totally different. Okay, so just whatever you decide. I just kind of want them to match. Now, you're gluing hot glue to paper. It's going to be hot. If you've been crafting any length of time and you're like me, you have asbestos fingers and you're kind of used to this. But if not, take your bone folder or something you have handy and just touch it with that so that your fingers aren't touching it. I don't want you to get burned doing this, so safety first. So it took 3 strips with the hot glue gun. And we're all wrapped around. Now the other thing, watch this, it's too hot for me now. Whew. Rub that now. The other thing I'm not gonna worry about are these edges, because as we go, they'll start to kind of hold themselves down. I'll show you what I mean. So now we're gonna go to the next section. We're gonna put down a strip of hot glue, kind of like we just did. And we're just going to overlap and split the center of our circles at the bottom. So we're overlapping and going to the middle. Now I didn't have enough hot glue for this one, so I am going to put a little underneath that. And then go ahead and run it a little ways further. Okay, and I can keep adding them. I promise you, this is hotter than I'm making it look, so please be careful. Like I said, I've used hot glue for a long time. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but I want you to be very careful because this paper, if you're using this kind, is so thin. And to keep from having to have a billion of these little circles, one thing I did was I didn't overlap them a whole lot. I keep my, I kind of keep almost the whole scallop so I move up faster and I don't have to make as many circles that way. Let's just keep on going. Or trucking, as they say. Now as I get to the top, I'm using more glue, just kind of to put all the pieces down, because you don't have as much holding it now as you did before. You don't have the layers on, you won't have a layer on it. So you want to make sure you get everything laid down nice and smooth. And I kind of went up a little bit above the, I don't know why that piece don't want to lay down. I went up above the lip a little bit. I'll show you what we're going to do to kind of clean that up. Now go ahead and squeeze that down. And then anywhere that is not glued down here, you will want to glue down. Like that piece, for example. Okay, so now I have this all wrapped in music paper, and I don't want to lay these down because I like how they kind of lift up, but you do want to go through and make sure you get all of your glue streamers off. And they kind of hide in this paper. They catch and they hide. Okay, so now for the very, very top, I'm going to take one of these pieces I have left over. And I have this 1-inch circle punch that is from EK Success. I'm just going to push this in here and pop a circle. And in this circle, I'm going to take my crocodile in the big hole and put a hole in the center. I'm kind of making it look like a big old lifesaver. And the reason is, when we go to put our finial where it's going to go, we'll need that. But before we put the finial in, or before we put that on, here's what you want to do. In the top of your cone, you want to take your finial and line it up where you want it to go. And go ahead and push it in. And what that'll do is go ahead and give you the hole for it to sit in. Okay? So now, we're going to run glue around that hole. Like so. We don't really care if it gets in it because we're actually going to put some more in it anyway. And then we're going to take that 1-inch piece that we made and put it on top. And this is definitely hot work because you have to really touch it. And I'm just kind of tucking it down inside those scallops that we let lift up. And you'll want to let that dry for a second. And I'll show you what we do next. So now we have all of our circles glued all the way around. We have our 1-inch circle punched out and put in the top with a hole in the middle. And now we're going to take our scissors and go right into that hole punch and kind of make some little extra slits all the way around. And this is so our finial will drop in easier. Just like that. You don't want to press this down or you'll mess up your bottom, so you're being very careful with that part. Then take your finial, put glue on it, and push it into that hole you already made earlier. Hold it up off of your work surface because you'll mess up the bottom paper. And just get that right where you want it. So now you have that at the top of your tree. It's so pretty. I can't wait for you to see pictures of it. You take your candlestick that we painted, okay? And you're going to put hot glue or any glue that you want to use. You can use E6000 or whatever. I'm just going to use hot glue right around the base. Now you don't have long because that piece of paper is going to grab. So you want to put this on looking at the side, if that makes sense. You want to kind of look down at the bottom and pay attention to where you're placing this because you will not have much time to move it around. So get that as in the center as you can. It's so pretty, and this is the small one. Wait till y'all see it next to the big one. I'm not going to add bling. I think you could just put all the bling you wanted to on here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it just like this, and I will take pictures and show you both of them, but that's how I made it. So simple, and I just think they're beautiful. So another craft. And by the way, if I didn't say, this was definitely inspired by Pinterest. This was something I saw on Pinterest, and I pinned it to my Christmas bucket list, I think. And if you don't follow me on Pinterest, go check it out because I have a lot of boards with a lot of different stuff. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And this is just another one in our Holly Jolly Christmas series. So I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.